next video. Piracy is the logical solution. Facts. All right, let's watch this.
If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, which
True.
is why piracy is no longer seen as digital theft reserved for risk takers and your plug who knew a sketchy website. Now it's easier and more convenient than ever. TV, movies, sports, live events, whatever you want for free. It's become so normalized that piracy sites are getting more yearly visits than every streaming service combined. But this makes sense when you consider that every facet of the entertainment.
Because like, dude, they're so fucking like greedy, man. Making every single thing like, oh, you have to subscribe to this, you have to subscribe to that, subscribe to this, subscribe to this!
Entertainment industry has been destroyed by corporations. Even if you're not a sports fan, you will relate to this struggle, because you need to see how insanely difficult it is just to watch a basketball game. I live in Oklahoma City, and I really wanted to follow the Thunder and the entire Western Conference a couple years ago, so I bought NBA League Pass for $110 for the season. Silly me for thinking,
$110? Fuck off. What the fuck do you mean $110 just to watch the fucking basketball game?
so I bought NBA League Pass for $110 for the season. Silly me for thinking that one streaming service would have every game. League Pass only lets you watch games that are out of market, which meant I couldn't actually watch the Thunder games because I live in Oklahoma City and those rights belong to the FanDuel Sports
Oh my god.
network. And if the game was nationally televised, that was exclusively broadcast on ESPN or TNT, which meant I needed a cable package or another app like Hulu Live or Sling just to catch games literally happening
Lucas, I
in
get
my
5
city.
gifted.
As of right now, if you want to guarantee that you will be able to watch all of the NBA games in the US when they are actually happening live, you need to have ESPN, which requires you to have Hulu plus Live TV or YouTube TV or Sling Orange TV or with an upgraded cable package. Then you need Peacock, which is $11 per month. Then you need Prime Video, which is $9 per month, and ABC, which would come with your basic local cable subscription. The cheapest way to guarantee every game would be $66 in subscriptions and whatever your basic cable costs these days, which is on
That's
average
so
about
stupid.
$25.
That's actually genuinely so
roughly
dumb.
$91 per month just to watch
Diego,
basketball, the
stop
cheapest.
biting.
Now, me personally, I would never pirate anything. That is behavior I absolutely condemn. But I'm not surprised anyone who would do it when all you got to do is go to one of the many widely available.
I don't condemn it. I think they're making it where people just have to do it.
Available free websites, click the extremely clean and clear interface that says the exact game or event you are looking for, and just
Surprise, surprise, make everything expensive and suddenly people are stealing. Wow, who would have guessed? Like, what?
just watch it for free. But honestly, we should have seen this terrible streaming climate coming from a mile away, because as they say, nothing good lasts forever. And to understand why piracy is so rampant today, we have to understand this detailed list of problems that piracy solves. Netflix used to be $8 per month, and it had a deep, deep catalog of some of the most popular shows ever made. The Office, Friends, Breaking Bad, Dexter, Family Guy, American Horror Story, Pretty Little Liars, Law and Order, and even some Disney and Pixar titles. They had the Harry Potter films, they had Star Wars, they had classic movies like Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, The Dark Knight. They even had Marvel titles before Disney Plus launched. It felt limitless, like the entire entertainment industry was in one app for the price of a fast food meal. Today, $8.99 gets you 9,000 shows you will never watch, and that's with ads. And if you don't want ads, no problem. That's $25 a month. Plus, every studio with a morsel of valuable IP decided to make their own app. So instead of one library, you get 10 half libraries, each charging you separately. HBO Max, $21 a month. Hulu and Disney Plus, $19 a month. Peacock, $17. Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Stars Play, BritBox, and niche ones like Shudder, Crunchyroll, Acorn TV all jumped into the fight, each charging $4 to $20 a month. I sometimes have this thought like, man, I wish I could just pay one price for all of the streaming services grouped together, and then I realize that's kind of what cable was. But streaming was supposed to be the solution to cable's outlandish prices and
oh my god, I remember when the movement between TV to PC peak. Everything was always available through like Netflix. It was so perfect. Everything was perfect. And then people started to like, wait, if they can do it, I can do it. And then boom, this whole thing just started again. And I'm like, wow, now we're back to square one, where now it's like, now I'm thinking like, God, we went full on fucking circle. God, now I just want to go back to cable.
Loaded packages, and yet they are slowly turning into the very thing they sought to destroy. Check out this old residential cable service price sheet from 1993. Just your basic news and weather channels was the same cost as Netflix when they first launched. Adding just 2 or 3 premium channels like the Disney Channel takes the price from $8 to $20 to $27 per month. This is actually insanely expensive for the 90s, especially when you consider that you did not get to choose what content to watch or when you could watch it. And of course, you still had commercials. Streaming solved all of these problems, but in 2025, almost all of these problems are back. I recently wanted to watch The Founder after doing research for my
Oh, is this good? Never watched it yet.
fast food video, but Netflix would not allow me to watch it since I pay for the cheapest version of Netflix that has ads. I was annoyed.
What?
But I thought maybe it had something to do with McDonald's having some sort of strict licensing issue that forced Netflix to lock it behind the premium tier. But it turns out there are 138 movies and TV series blocked on Netflix advertising tier. For $8 per month, you cannot watch Spider-Man, White Chicks.
I don't get it. Why don't they just like... If they have to watch the ad anyway, why are you making them pay?
Boys in the
Sprit
Hood,
Freak
or even
Smile
the
Man, I
Garfield
love
movie. Half the time, you don't even know whether something
1337
isn't
X and
available or
Dem
not because of
X.
licensing
No real
contracts,
reason
region
I'm mentioning
restrictions, or
those.
just because you're on the
Absolutely
wrong
no
subscription
reason
plan.
whatsoever.
The end result feels
Smile.
exactly like cable again, paying more money just to unlock what you thought you were already paying for.
Guys, don't watch them. Watch me watching the trailers with the chat.
Thus making piracy the logical solution. You can go to these super cool websites that I never endorse because that is wrong and immoral, and just search basically any movie and get a high definition
He really doesn't want to get fucking demonetized, dude. Immoral! Wow, yeah, as a... Dude...
download. However, cable being much more expensive actually did have a slight benefit that nobody realized at the time. The competition for ratings meant that the shows that survived were usually the best of the best. Every network was fighting for limited primetime slots, and if a show could not pull in millions of viewers week after week, it was canceled. There was no filler at primetime. Seinfeld, Friends, The Simpsons, The X-Files, Sex and the City, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, I love
on
Fresh
and on.
Prince of
Networks
Bel-Air.
weren't pumping out hundreds of new series every year just to fill catalog space. They were making sure the few shows they produced had the writing, acting, and budgets to succeed. And to no surprise at all, these old shows are still dominating streaming services today. In 2022, Seinfeld racked up 19.3 billion viewing minutes on Netflix, making it the 10th most watched show of that year. Compare that to one of their most popular originals, Wednesday, which was...
I do not get this. I don't think it's that good, dude, personally. I saw some trailer of it, like genuinely. I saw a trailer of it genuinely, and I was like, "Damn, this shit looks ass."
Everywhere in 2022. Viral on
Didn't watch
TikTok,
it.
Jenna Ortega was launched into A-list fame. It was damn near
It's
a
fine.
monoculture
Maybe-
moment.
I don't
Yet
know,
it still
dude. It's just
drew
not for me
fewer
personally.
minutes than Seinfeld, a 30-year-old sitcom. Shows like The Umbrella Academy and The Rings of Power pulled in about half the audience of Seinfeld. Cable forced networks to compete for your attention in a way that streaming doesn't. And to
It was
take
a good
that
show.
one step further, today shows and movies are literally designed knowing that people are not all the way paying attention to them. Netflix has leaned into what's called the second screen era, where they assume
Oh my god, dude.
that most viewers are watching TV while scrolling their phones, cooking, or doing laundry. Hollywood writer, director, and producer Justine Bateman said, "I've heard from showrunners who are given notes from the streamers that this isn't second screen enough."
Dude, this is exactly what makes you a good streamer, by the way. If you're able to be a second stream Andy. Bro, guys, anybody in the chat, guys, if I am in the second screen at the moment while you're doing something else, type 0 in the chat.
Which begs the question, why would someone give all of their attention to something that is only designed to be consumed with half of their attention? According to reports,
my
Netflix
God.
execs are urging screenwriters to have characters announce their actions out loud so that viewers can
Holy
follow along
shit.
at the screen. For example, we spent a day together.
Guys, it's just to be fair, it's because some people like personally for me, when I watch a show, I like to sit down and relax. But the reason why it's so nice to watch a streamer while doing a thing is because like you're technically not missing anything. Does that make sense? You are technically not gonna be missing like some crazy info of the show or whatever.
Sorry,
you're just listening to some
I gotta
yapping in the
work
background.
for a
And it's
living.
perfect. That's the reason why I used to watch streamers every single day when I was in uni. I needed it, dude. I needed the I just needed it, dude.
Tells her lover James in Irish Wish, I admit it was a beautiful day filled with dramatic vistas and romantic rain, but that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. Tomorrow I'm marrying Paul Kennedy. Fine, he responds. That will be the last you see of me because after this job is over, I'm off to Bolivia to photograph an endangered tree lizard. This kind of over-explaining feels completely unnatural, and real people don't talk like this. It makes what should cinematic like a boring audiobook. And look, I'm all for casual viewing. I know a ton of my audience casually watches my videos while doing other things, but also I make low budget YouTube videos that are free to watch, not multi-million-dollar films behind a paywall. I don't know about you, but when I watch a movie, I like to pay attention. By training viewers to expect content that doesn't demand their full attention, Netflix is creating an audience that's even less likely to pay attention. And the less they pay attention, the less they care about quality. And as long as they feel just entertained enough, means they likely won't cancel their subscription. It's almost like they are conditioning the perfect audience who will
I'm the main screen for you? Oh my god.
barely pay attention to their content or their credit card bill, so they can increase prices while lowering the quality for an audience who doesn't even notice. In the cable era, a show needed to be excellent to survive.
True.
Well, not forever actually. This started to die in the 2000s. Once cable became the dominant form of television in America, the few companies at the top could now take advantage of their market dominance. Cable prices climbed 40% in just 6 years, jumping from about $34 in 2000 to $47 in 2006. Meanwhile, inflation only rose 14.3% in that same period. Cable companies such as Comcast, Spectrum, Dish, DirecTV, and Cox started bundling networks into giant packages with hundreds, sometimes thousands of channels. If you wanted to watch ESPN, you were forced to also buy
I'm a modified
Lifetime,
duty, so that was
QVC,
my main
the Golf
screen as
Channel,
well.
MTV3, and whatever else they decided to shove into the bundle. You weren't allowed to just pick the 5 or 6 channels that you actually watched. And now, streaming companies are doing a similar tactic. They flood their platforms with new shows and movies you will never watch because adding volume creates the illusion of value, justifying their increasing price. Netflix alone released 589 new Netflix originals in 2024, just slightly over its 2023 total of 568. There can't possibly be nearly 600 new shows and movies worth watching every year, but it's all part of the bigger plan. Every year, Netflix originals slowly take up more of their catalog, and
Dude, do you guys watch Netflix original? Unless like, oh, I actually did enjoy Ozark a bit, but I never finished. Oh, I love The Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit was great. I like The Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit was good. I like that one.
then they license less. In 2022, over 50% of their catalog was originals. Now, some of these originals are good. Ozark, Queen's Gambit, Beef are just a few.
Oh, I love Beef. Beef was amazing. We need to do a Beef like, guys. Oh, I don't know.
Top of my head, but the rest
Beef
are
is
mostly
Beef is
filler.
good.
They are
Okay, all
watering
I'm gonna
down
say
their
is Beef is
product
good.
to save money instead of
Oh god, Big Mouth makes me feel awkward. Oh, I like BoJack Horseman. Wait, was BoJack Horseman even by Netflix or
purchasing valuable shows.
purchasing? Okay, there we go.
Because licensing the movies and TV shows you actually want to watch cost a fortune. In 2019, Netflix lost both Friends and The Office, two classic, reliable sitcoms that were some of the most watched shows on their platform, after Warner Media and NBC pulled the rights for
With no competition, movies now consider more agenda and less true environment. True. I feel like it's because like back in the day it was survival of the fittest, and now it's hey man, whoever gets funded, yippee.
their own services. To fill that gap, Netflix struck a massive deal to acquire Seinfeld, reportedly paying over $500 million for global streaming rights, and that's only for 5 years. So they would have to spend another fortune to keep the show. And this is the cycle we're stuck in now.
Wow.
Streamers don't want to pay billions to keep the classics that people actually want to watch, so they crank out repetitive,
Did I say environment? Oh my god. No. Entertainment. In my head I read entertainment, but I don't know why I said environment. What the
low-budget
Hi,
originals
Fox,
that are
what the
literally designed for you
I love
to
the Xer
halfway pay
Prime.
attention to, then slowly raise the monthly price because look at all this new, fresh, original content we're giving you. And users have been conditioned to only watch casually anyways, so they barely notice the dip in quality. Plus, that's only one streaming service. Every company with a little bit of valuable IP started their own app and they're doing the same exact system. So now if you want a library of great shows and movies, you need to subscribe to multiple services. The average household actively uses around 4 streaming apps, and 8% even access 10 or more. That equals about $69 per month, which is just about the same price that cable was in the early 2010s when everyone jumped to streaming. Piracy is the solution to all of these problems. Piracy reached a low in 2020 with 130 billion website visits, which by the way is still a ton. But by 2024, that number had risen to
from 130 to 216
billion.
I
it's
wonder
actually
why.
Incredibly simple as to why. Gabe Newell, the founder of the online video game marketplace Steam, summarized this perfectly nearly a decade ago. We think
I'm here to renew my sub. I'm
Hi,
Kaiserus.
thank you so much for 3
I
months.
just changed my name. What do you
yeah?
think? Demo.
Super different though. That is so different.
I think there is a
If
fundamental
you like it, I don't
misconception
mind.
about piracy. Piracy is almost always a service problem
Gavin is my king.
and not a pricing problem. If a pirate offers a product anywhere in the world, 24/7, purchasable from the convenience of your personal computer, and the legal provider says that the product is region locked, will come to your country 3 months after the US release, and can only be purchased at a brick and mortar store, then the pirate service is more valuable. In short,
Oh wow, it's almost as if like making it really hard for the consumer where you have to pay and do so many things beforehand makes them like, you know what, why should I do this when I could easily just go to blah.com and then suddenly watch all the shows that you want to. Dude, convenience will always be number 1.
in short, convenience is
That's
key.
the reason why Steam is doing so well. Steam is doing so well because they know their market. They know gamers. They know everything about gamers. They know exactly what they want. And that's the reason why they were able to like capitalize on everything, is because like they know what people want. They do not give out they give out convenience without like making you have to pay for it.
People are willing to pay, but why are they making it so complicated? The music industry got it right for the consumer. They created something so simple that it wasn't even necessary to pirate music anymore. At its peak, Napster had nearly 80 million registered users downloading and sharing music for free. By the mid-2000s, sites like LimeWire and BitTorrent were handling billions of illegal downloads every year. Year over year, music revenue sales were dropping, and the music industry executives were convinced it was because of piracy. That's when Spotify, Apple Music, and other music streaming services came around to essentially make the Netflix of music. However, these services are better.
I pay for YouTube Premium and Spotify, and that's it.
Because there is no exclusivity. No matter what service you pay
Netflix, I may or may not be using a friend's account. I don't give a fuck. Hypothetically, I may or may not be using Zoil's account. If I were to use an account, it would be Zoil's. My VPN may or may not be hypothetically Zoil's account. Hypothetically, my hypothetically, I may or may not have used my moderator's Netflix account.
or you will have access to basically the same exact music as any other platform. One monthly price and nearly every song and album
It's a
ever
hypothetical,
made. Now,
guys,
dude,
bro.
This has devalued music incredibly, and artists get fractions of a penny per stream, but unfortunately, the customer doesn't care because the service
No, guys, you don't get it, because sometimes, hypothetically, tacticals like family actually uses the Netflix and they need to pay for the like 5 plus monitors more, so I had to like go to Zoil's account instead.
is better for them. But we might be at a tipping point with music streaming services because Spotify is seemingly taking a pay
Also, my Disney Plus subscription, yeah, that's hypothetically Zoil's as well.
page out of Netflix playbook and prioritizing their own music over licensed music, but the problem is it's AI generated. But that's a whole different video. Compared to now, it seems like in the early 2010s, streaming service
I am not a freeloader. I things I can use in my life. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. Hate the game, bruh.
Had it right. All they had to do was not change. Piracy was at an all-time low in the early 2010s because it was safer, easier, and not a financial burden to just pay for the content you wanted to watch.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. On God.
Want to, or
at least I'm not pirating.
Can't pay. This is extremely common with pay-per-view events.
Disney
For many
Plus
years,
is planning
Dana
to
White
turn
and the
to slop
UFC
though.
waged
All the
war against
animators
sites
are telling folks to flat out pirate cause they're pissed.
like crack streams, trying to convince everyone that he would get them shut down.
You kind of stirred the pot a little bit with the piracy, the online streamers. They want to come after you and give this thing away. So, any regret? It kind of maybe stirring the pot a little bit.
I'm glad you asked me about that because we got one. We got him. We're watching this guy right now. All you have to do is turn it on Saturday, and we got you. I can't wait. Turn it on Saturday, streamers, and see what happens.
Nothing happened. 4 years later, and you could watch any UFC fight crystal clear HD on a handful of different free streaming sites. Dana eventually realized he was losing the battle with illegal pay-per-view streamers.
Speaking of
to everyone's
tactical,
surprise,
I'm meeting up with him next month. Should we take a pic?
Why is everybody meeting up with Tactical? Please explain that to me. Why is... Dude, I already heard that Sai and Tactical are meeting up. Now I'm hearing Zyko and Tactical. Is Tactical just like trying to meet every single person in my fucking chat? Bro, what the is happening?
They made a deal that benefits the consumer now. In 2026...
Macro, are you also meeting Tactical? What is happening? Why the f is Tactical meeting all my viewers? Dude, there's no way Tactical is doing a meet and greet before I do. There's no f***ing way. There is no f***ing way. I will actually like genuinely get pissed off if Tactical meets my viewers more than I have. I met him last week. Bro! What is Tactical doing?
All UFC events will air exclusively on Paramount Networks in the United States. That means 13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights will air via Paramount Plus. For $13 per month, you can get all the UFC events.
Tactical is so funny, dude. I will never forget an offline chat when we were in offline chat. If anybody knows, we have an offline chat that when I go offline, that's my offline chat. Chat is still active and whatever, etc. Right. Anyway. In offline chat one day, this guy, I was talking about the house. I was talking about like me wanting a house and me wanting to like work on that and whatever. And he was like, oh, you have to think about like having like what you want. Do you want 2 kitchens? And then he said that to me and I was like, what the f do you mean 2 kitchens? And he was like, oh, you don't have a second kitchen? What? And I was like, what? Why the f would you need 2 kitchens for? What the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, the wet kitchen and the dry kitchen. Shut the fuck. What the fuck are you talking about? And then this guy is like, and I'm like, Tactical, can I see your house? And this guy is just an absolute rich motherfucker. And I had no idea. He didn't have any. He thought that everybody has second kitchens. Okay, this guy was like, dude, I'm thinking about getting a house. Boom, get a second kitchen. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, and then he has a pool for the dogs. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Yeah, I have a pool for the dogs. And I was like, dude, Jesus Christ, dude, what the fuck? And I was so in shock that I had to go like, hey man, can I talk to like offline chat about this? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? I talked to offline chat. And then everybody started like actually making fun of him. It was actually the most like, the funniest thing I have ever seen. He has like he talks about his second house, third house, whatever. He's Singaporean, classic. And then like, bro, what in the fuck? And then everybody in chat is like, what the fuck are you talking about second fucking kitchen? And he's like, dude, the second kitchen, dude. Guys, I do chores. And I'm like, wow, okay. Chores, what do? I clean the pool. Oh my God! Dude! Why are you clowning him? No, we're not clowning him. It's just hilarious that he thought that this was like some normal thing. He legitimately thought that a dry and wet kitchen is a normal thing that everybody fucking has, dude. It was the funniest ever. Oh my god. And I had to like talk to him, dude. I had to like talk to him, bro. It's like, bro, this guy could literally say, you guys don't go first class every single time. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Like, genuinely, I literally wouldn't be surprised. Genuinely. I, like, what the fuck?
And all of Paramount's content ad-free. This is actually a monumental shift. For the first time ever, fans will have access to
I've never gone to first class in my life. I don't think anybody has gone to. I only think like only 1% of people get to go to first class, and they're fuck tactical. Fuck tactical, dude. Fuck tactical. Classic, dude. Actual classic, bro.
The beginning of the UFC resorting to basically all the exact issues I have already raised with streaming services.
There are other classes in first class? Dude, Renyan, shut the fuck up. You cannot make that joke when you're actually rich.
Once the UFC moves fully to a streaming platform, they've got your money locked in, whether the card is stacked with superstars or filled with nobodies. That pressure to deliver massive must-see events disappears overnight. And honestly, that's already been happening in the past couple years. Storytelling is basically non-existent. Cards are bloated with fighters nobody cares about. Their upcoming talent pool is getting less impressive and exciting. But now the cost of 13 marquee events is roughly the same price as one pay-per-view. So as long as you get one good card per year, it's technically worth the subscription. They quite literally just cheapened their product, so we should expect the quality to decrease even more. Also, fighters have traditionally been paid based on pay-per-view points, meaning if the card sold well, they got paid well. Once that model disappears, the UFC has to raise base pay for their top stars just to keep them happy. That makes those stars more expensive to book, so to save money, the UFC will inevitably have them fight less. Fewer high-profile matchups, more watered-down fight nights, and a whole lot of filler. Fans will pay less, but they also will get less. All of these companies across the entire entertainment industry, besides music, kinda, have overcomplicated their model of delivering content to customers for the sole purpose of squeezing every last dollar out of the end user. I believe most people are good people, and I don't think anyone expects to get quality entertainment for free. We were in a good sweet spot in the 2010s,
Tactical POV, the peasant toil for like, oh my god.
but greed ruined it. Now the costs are higher, the content is worse, and the convenience is gone. I've canceled nearly all of my subscriptions or reduced to just the ad tier because I just don't watch as much. And I know I'm not alone. When the system no longer respects the consumer finds another way.
See, this is why Steam reigns supreme. They know this. They know this from their heart. Is that if they start being greedy, then people will not be as loyal. Loyalty is earned. Loyalty is earned by people being respected. And the moment you stop respecting people, surprise, surprise, they leave. Surprise, bro's making yachts, bro. Yeah, he deserves it. He wins. I'm not gonna lie. He's like the only like billionaire that I would like say that I like. Oh god. Let's hope whoever takes over after Gaben also respects this. I'm just glad that I was able to like be alive through like Gaben's supreme, reign. I'm just really happy about that. I don't even want to think about what happens when like he passes away or something. I don't even know. I don't know, man. It's hard, dude. It's a hard like thought.